Our philosophy is to find a major gold discovery in the Timmins camp. So what we've done here, we've looked at various properties in the Timmins camp, and when we found this particular property, Timmins Porcupine West, we decided that we should acquire it. And we acquired this particular property in 2009, and over to date, we've drilled over 110,000 meters of diamond drilling, and we have about 1 million ounces of resource. The Abitibi is probably one of the most famous greenstone belts in the world. It's over 800 kilometers long and 300 kilometers wide. In the Timmins here, they've been mining here since 1910. They discovered the first mine in 1909, was the Hollinger and the Dome. And from then, the Dome has been continuous mining since 1909 to about 2013. Over 18 million ounces have been mined here to date. The Hollinger, which was discovered around the same time, they mined over 20 million ounces at a grade of about 0.30 ounce per ton. Now the McIntyre, which was on the north side of the porphyry, they mined over 10 million ounces in that particular ore body. So this camp is quite famous, and it's probably one of the most famous camps on the Abitibi Greenstone Belt, along with Rouyn-Noranda and Val-d'Or. The most recent developments are in our last press release, where we decided we would start to drill for near-surface, open-pittable resource. On that, we've discovered anywhere from 1 to 3 grams close to surface, and we have an area where we knew there's about 200 meters of strike length, and on that we were drilling on one side to increase it by 200, and on the other side, the west side, to drill it, and on the east to add another 200. So we hope to be able to define a surface open-pittable resource with about 600 meters of strike length. What we've done, we've reduced our drilling because of the economic situation right now around the world, and we're planning on doing about 10,000 meters of diamond drilling on Timmins Porcupine West. And as I previously stated, we're looking at the surface open pit potential on the property. So most of the holes we'll be drilling will be less than 400 meters in length, and we're looking to define the surface open pittable resource. The Hollinger-McIntyre model is built on what we call the Hollinger-McIntyre mine. Now the Hollinger mine had as a centerpiece the Pearl Lake porphyry. On the north side of the Pearl Lake porphyry was the McIntyre, and on the south side was the Hollinger. Now there's a synclinal structure there on which both mines were located. So that both those two mines added together produce a total of 30 million ounces. Now what we have a similar structure in which we have what we call the Bristol porphyry, and we have on the north side we have a limb on that, part of the syncline. On the south side we do have the same thing. We've concentrated our efforts drilling on the south side of the Bristol porphyry, and to date we've been able to define close to 1 million ounces. On the north side we have 3 holes that have been drilled, have encountered significant gold mineralization near surface. I've got over 40 years experience in the exploration business. I started out early career working with Noranda back when I was 20 years old, and I took a lot of experience working with Noranda to various projects around the country. Worked at Brunswick Mining, Heath Steel, also some work at Matagi and Matabi, and I've done exploration for the last 20 years for various junior companies. In Timmins right now we found a major discovery which we're working on, and we're being very diligent as far as we're spending the capital, the shareholders' money. So we've cut back our program this year from 30,000 meters last year to 10,000 meters this year. I wouldn't really say that there is any second most important person in the company. The company, what we have is a team of people that all work together in order to achieve certain results. We have the person in the IR department, we have our secretary, our bookkeeper, our accountants, our lawyers. So everybody is really important in the company in order to achieve a successful operation. As far as our geologists are very well qualified, our technical people, our geophysicists. So a question like that, we don't really have any second most important, but we do have a 2IC, which is probably on our board of directors, Jeff Carter, who has over 40 years experience in the business. But the whole team works together in order to achieve the results that we've achieved to date. Yes, because as I previously stated, we have a 2IC. Jeff Carter has over 40 years experience in the business of exploration, running junior companies. He's on our board of directors, so if anything were to happen to me, Jeff Carter would step in and take over the company. The evidence of the project, the Timmins Porcupine project, what we did initially on our Timmins Porcupine West project, we built a three-dimensional model. This model, we took all the data from Dome, Tech, Cameco, and Tom from 1980 to 2003, which was 130 drill holes, 30,000 meters of diamond drilling, and built a three-dimensional model. This particular model was built with a program called GEMCOM, and that predicted that we had a synclinal structure with two limbs, a north limb and a south limb, and the structure was similar to the Hollinger-McIntyre. Now, what we did, we tested the model. We started out with 10,000 meters of diamond drilling, and with that we confirmed the south limb. As we drilled two lines of holes. The first line was drilled to intersect the structure, and it did, and the second line was about 200 meters back, and it undercut the same structure. Both of these line of drill holes confirmed the Hollinger-McIntyre model, parallel and echelon type gold veins, multiple veins in each hole, very significant mineralization. That's why I believe the Hollinger-McIntyre model has been confirmed. Now to date, in total we've drilled over 105 holes, and 102 of those holes have confirmed the Hollinger-McIntyre model, and we've hit gold on 102 out of 105 holes. Low grade close to surface, and high grade at depth. And the structure gets bigger as we go deeper into the structure. That's why I believe we've built a model, we've tested the model, and we've been confirming the model for the last 2 years, 3 years rather. I don't really have a plan because we've been so consistent statistically. We've hit, as I previously stated, 102 out of 105 holes. And the structure is 2 kilometers in strike length, open on both ends and open at depth. And every hole we've drilled to date we've hit. So I don't really see why we'd not hit what we expect to hit. But in the event that that were to happen, we'd have to test the north limb, which we already found 3 holes in the north limb have confirmed gold. We would have to continue exploring on the north limb to see if the model was true. But to date, we feel that it has been confirmed. We have numerous other projects also. We have 19 other projects. They're all excellent projects that we put into the company that are on the back burner that we could develop at any point in time if we chose to decide to do exploration on those projects. This copper project we acquired in New Brunswick basically because of the high-grade copper that was there. Some areas on this project are near some 4 to 8% copper, which is very, very significant. In some areas, over 20 meters in thickness. Now this particular project, the company that had it before went bankrupt, so then it was returned to the prospector, so then we had the opportunity to acquire it. We paid $150,000 for the project. It was very, very cheap, considering that there's a 712,000 tons of measured and indicated resource, grading nearly 2% copper with some silver and zinc in it. There's over 900,000 tons of inferred resource for a total of around 1.5 million tons, and we can easily increase the resource to 3 million tons. So this project is unbelievable. It's fantastic that we have it there. We also have a 500-meter ramp to access the ore zone. So this project in itself, just to develop a ramp of 500 meters, would probably cost anywhere from $10 to $20 million. and it already exists. This makes the project unbelievably fantastic. That's a good question. The problem with a question of that nature is that the project in New Brunswick is in an advanced stage. It could be put into production a lot more quickly because there's already a ramp accessing the ore. While the Timmins Porcupine West, which is our flagship project, we would have to sink a shaft, and that would probably take anywhere from 2 to 3 years to put a shaft down to the ore zone. The one in New Brunswick, we could probably put into production for maybe $40 to $50 million. Whereas the one in Timmins would cost us $125 to $150 million. So when you ask the question, which is the most important, which is the quickest to put into production, it would appear that the one in New Brunswick would probably be the quickest to put into production. But saying that, the one in Timmins has a greater resource of greater value, and that we have over 1 million ounces to date, with a model that tends to tell us that we have anywhere from 20 to 30 million ounces in the ground. So the more holes we drill, the more we're going to prove up as far as resource for gold. That's a creative form of financing we're considering at present, that we could do some kind of a royalty agreement, or what they call royalty streaming, as far as selling off the silver to a potential investor and using that money to finance the development of Chester. The resources and the capital we could raise from Chester would end up being poured into our Timmins Porcupine West project. That's a creative form of financing we could look at, that we're considering at present or evaluating. That was raised with some German investors in Germany, $1.6 million. They really liked the project, and so we placed our money with them. Or they invested in the company based on the projects that we have and the quality that we have in place right now. They've become a strategic investor in the company, so that probably gives them around 10% of Explor. My message would be to take advantage of the stock price. Currently, we're trading around 8 or 10 cents. With our strategic German investor who's willing to back us on all our exploration efforts, this project will be very, very successful in the short term and in the long term. We expect the stock to significantly increase in value.